Hello, everybody, and welcome one final time in 2025 to the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship. And for the very first time in WMSC history, we have a Drivers' Championship on the line going into this final race. And what a better place for this championship to be decided than Interlagos, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, where today's race will take place. Let's look at the drivers' standings going into this final round. Lucas Murno, the Brazilian who could take the championship at home, is 10 points ahead of Pascal Polens, but Polens has the momentum on his side, winning last time out in Suzuka when Murno didn't even finish on the podium. It is a dramatic situation, but Lucas Murno is still the favorite. All he needs to do today is finish P5 to win the championship here at home soil. But Vanguard Engineering and Pascal Polens will try everything to spoil the home party for Murno. Let's also look at the Constructors' Championship, which has been decided last week already in favor of Vanguard Engineering, who cannot be beaten anymore to the title. Scuderia Cesario looks pretty settled in P2, as does SCMM in P3 and Holland in 4th. 5th shall go to United Racing Club this year, but for P6, everything is still all to play for. Let's look at the weather as well before we head trackside for qualifying, which is about to start any second now. Well, it is raining throughout qualifying and the race, or at least there is a chance of rain throughout both sessions that we will see today. So, yeah, everything is on the table this afternoon. Let's head trackside as we expect the cars to leave the pit lane any second now, and they do, and we're greeted by a wet track immediately. It is raining at the moment. Rain is shown with 30% right now. Track wetness 0 to 40%, but going out of the pit lane, we definitely see some spray. So this will be a very, very exciting one, and Interlagos has a history of providing super exciting championship finales, especially in these conditions. Well, and it is an interesting set of tires, a mixture of tires we see in these early seconds in qualifying. It might be that there is a glitch displaying the tire compounds in the game, but right now it shows Nefarious Machado on a slick. Well, it has just updated, so I presume Maximilian Jäger and the Better Julia will also be on a wet tire, so everybody probably on the wet here. Pasi Mikkonen, after his podium finish in his first race, first outing in WMSC last week, he will be looking for another good result here, as he will be the first one to set a qualifying lap. Into the center as we go. Stays off the curbs there, but runs wide into Cova del Sol. So this lap already with a small mistake in there. On the Retro Posta, we're now into the Ciudad del Lago. Challenging situation now for Mikkonen, as he will be the first to meet the track conditions and to see how they really are on a flying lap. As now we go into the infield section. Very technical. This part of the track. Into turn 8 we go. Pinheirinho. This always feels a bit painfully slow, this part here. Especially so in the rain. Now into turn 10. Second gear. Up to 6th as we approach Junsao. The final proper corner on this circuit. Because now it is all flat-out running towards the line. Pasi Mikkonen will set the first benchmark, but we already see that other drivers have been better. Oh, actually, Mikkonen wasn't the first car. Benton Reader currently on provisional pole, but there is Axel Laflamme getting very close, and there is our first championship challenger, Pascal Polens, who puts it onto provisional pole. But here is his rival, Lucas Murno, still in a special livery. Scuderia Cesario. This was planned to be the special livery for Japan, but unfortunately it wasn't displayed correctly in the mod. Apologies have been made by the mod makers, but we'll see this livery now in full force this time around, and by 66 thousandths of a second. It is the front row, but not pole position at the moment for Lucas Murno at his home race. Harley Self back in the Magnum. Magnum will try to not finish bottom of the table. At the moment, they are at 3 points in 11th. Bravo Snow Shutton 1 point just behind them. They might still beat them. They will need a chaotic race, but well, what better place and what better conditions for a chaotic race? Thiago Melo across the line for Bravo Snow Shutton, and it is P20. So after the first run of flying laps, they all come back into the pit lane, and we see also a special livery there for SCMM in yellow today. Pushka was making his way into the pits. Paolo Villami, the next one to go across the finish line. No, he doesn't. Backs out of that lap. Dominic Rustemeier is on a personal best right now. Let's see if he actually finishes that one. May all depend on the second sector split. And I'm pretty sure Rustemeier will abort that lap, come in for a fresh set of tyres. As we've seen, these wet tyres, they degrade very, very quickly, even in wet conditions. Alexander Knežević managed a fantastic podium, making optimal use of this interesting tyre life of the wet tyres. He read the conditions and the tyres best in that race to score the first podium for Holland Racing Team. And since then, they had 4 different drivers on the podium. Speaking of Holland Racing Team, there has been made an announcement before this race that Yannis Wolborn will be returning full-time with his old team. The still reigning champion. It will change after today, of course, as he just came back as a stand-in for Holland Racing Team, where he immediately scored a podium, even was fighting for the race win at Baku, and then he signed full-time for the remainder of the season with Velocita and has put them up the standings. They are in the fight for P6, currently 7th, but 6 points only behind Lucky Hamish. And the track conditions are improving as we see a purple first sector by Diogo Meneghetti in the Potenza Esports car. Oh, as he's fighting the car through the technical infield section here. The rain has stopped for the moment, so this might be the best track conditions we see. Or soon we will see the best conditions, as yeah, the conditions shall remain quite changeable throughout qualifying and race, as we've seen at the beginning of this stream. So Meneghetti across the line, and it is an improvement up to P9. Lost all the time in the middle sector, but this is still all very, very close. The top 10 all within a second. You rarely see this in WMSC. Pasi Mikkonen now on an improvement, might be good enough for the front row, and it is. Provisional pole immediately taken away by Filip Puška, and it isn't even close. 6/10. Lucas Murno also on an improvement. Middle sector, he is lacking a bit of time. Pascal Polens has abandoned his run. Lucas Murno, again, it's very close, but it's only second. He will not care about this. He only cares about his main championship rival, who's behind him and only 4th. But there's still time remaining in this session. Tina Curtis going across the line, currently a strong P9 for her. And it is an improvement in time, but not in position. Gino Guggiano back in the SCMM. There is theoretically a chance for them to Well, no, I'm wrong. They are settled for P3. They cannot finish second in the Constructors' Championships. Apologies. As we see Harley Self improving up to P16. At the moment, we are waiting for improvements from Vanguard Engineering. Poland's only P4. La Flamme only P7. Of course, they want pole position for this race because, realistically, to have any chance, Pascal Poland needs to win this one to even have a chance of winning the championship. We will go through all of the scenarios as the race unfolds. But actually, the situation is a very simple one. If Poland wins, Murno needs P5 to win the championship. If Poland finishes second, Murno needs P8. If Poland finishes third, all Lucas Murno needs to do is to finish in the top 10 and score a point. If Poland finishes off the podium, Lucas Murno will automatically be the champion. And here is the man we've been talking about, Pascal Poland. Purple first sector. He's approaching some sort of traffic here in the middle sector. Depending on how quick they are, he should be fine though. Second sector split coming up shortly. As we approach Jinsao. And it's another purple sector, so this should be a time that puts him onto provisional pole. And now he may even get a bit of a tow from the car ahead. On towards the line we go, and I think we will see a new P1 right now as Poland goes across the line, and it is 1:17.3. And there goes his teammate Axel Laflamme. It will be an improvement, but it will only be fourth. And with only 4 minutes remaining in this session, I think we might see everybody preparing for their final runs this session. Rain has started to fall again. It is at 30% currently. Track wetness down again to 0 to 40%. But we expect conditions on the track surface to get worse now. So has Poland's timed this one to perfection? We're still seeing improvements. Point in case here, Daniel Benton at 2 personal bests as he goes across the line and improves to P5. Out of Pasi Mikkonen and Gabriel Peckley. Another Gabriel Gibert, is back in the Lucky Hamish racing car. 23 entrants today. Which is a very, very strong number out of the maximum 24. We're only missing the second Velocita Virtuali that last week was still filled by Jendrik Bierhoff. Apart from that, we all have a full grid, as there is another improvement from Philip Puschke, but it will not take him higher than second, where he was before. Pasi Mikkonen abandons this lap, and I think everybody will do so. Not Jannis Wilborn. He stays out. Improves up to P8. Gustavo Frigoto in his home race as well. Up to P17. And his team's home race, of course, as well. Bravo Snow Shatton. As I said, there still is an outside chance for them to get rid of that P12. Last in the constructors' standings. And here's the man that will be back full-time in the HRT, and he will be a force to be reckoned with. The reigning 2-time WMSC champion, who will lose his crown today, but maybe this is a bit of extra motivation for next year, as he will be trying to get that one back in his whole team, alongside Misha Smith. Boy, HRT, and he's struggling through the middle sector. I think there won't be another improvement from Jannis Wilborn. Pascal Poland is in the pits as well, with just 1:30 to go. I think he will not be out there to improve his lap time. Now it shows that he's out again. Or he may just cross the line with a second or so to go for a last second improvement. I think he might have timed that one to perfection as well. And this just shows how Vanguard Engineering are going at this. Philip Pushkin is also coming out of the pit lane, but he will have to push on that outlap to actually make it to the line again. So, the final runs are starting now. Misha Smith, 118.9, up into the top 10. And he will have another chance this time round to improve that lap time. Everybody except Wilborn is out on track right now. Gabriel Peckley. Through the middle sector he goes. This is looking decent. He, of course, will try to assist his teammate, Lucas Murner, in the quest to become the first Brazilian WMSC champion here on home soil. And this might take him up the order. Possibly P4, maybe. Checkered flag is out. It's P5 for Peckley. Lucas Murner is on a personal best. Oh, but this one might just be enough for the front row. Across the line Murner goes. And it's not an improvement. Pesi Mikkonen. Not an improvement either. Now, where are Pascal Polens? Has Pascal Polens made it? Philip Pushka's made it across the line. Pascal Polens 4,000s down on his personal best in the middle sector, but there won't be an improvement from Lucas Murno. This is just to secure pole position against Philip Pushka, who I assume is also out on a flying lap. Purple middle sector for Pascal Polens. Up the hill towards the line we go. Flat out running. Is it another improvement for Pascal Polens? Yes, it is. And there goes Philip Pushki. He was purple in the middle sector, but is it good enough to beat Polens to pole? No, it isn't. By 1/10, almost 2/10 of a second. And I think that is everybody across the line. So Polens got the job done in qualifying, and he will start from pole position. Lucas Murno is in P3, which in the race would still be good enough for the championship, but this is going to be one exciting race. So, I think we're just waiting for the results to be confirmed. I haven't heard anything from race control regarding penalties. I will get back to you, of course, at the start of this race, should anything have happened. But these are the provisional qualifying results and the provisional starting grid. Pascal Polens starts from pole. Alongside him is Philip Pushka in the SCMM. Then Lucas Murno goes into this race from P3, which would be good enough. Remember, all he needs to do is P5 to win the championship. Axel Laflamme will try to make it past Lucas Murno right at the start. He starts 4th, Peckley 5th, Benton Reeder, Mikkonen, Walborn, Curtis and Jubert. They complete the top 10. Impressive qualifying from Gabriel Jubert. Misha Smith in 11th. Then we have Meneghetti, Jaeger, Gaggiano, Victor B, Matheus Machado, Gustavo Frigoto, Danny Vella, John Palaro, and Harley Self. And then on the last page of the qualifying results, we see Paulo Villami, Dominic Rustemeyer, and Thiago Mello. And that has been it with the final qualifying session of WMSC in 2025. We'll be back in around 10 minutes for the race start. Don't go anywhere. The championship is on the line. And in 10 minutes, we will see the race start. So, see you all then. And enjoy that break.
whispers in the night, rubber kissing asphalt, a dance so tight, lights flash, a symphony in motion, heartbeats race, drowning in devotion, chasing the apex, smooth and precise, every turn gamble, every move slice, focus like a laser, steady as it flows, chasing the apex.
So welcome back to the final seconds of the warm-up session before the race, which should start in about a minute. And we had some penalties from qualifying. It's Thiago Mello +1, Curtis +3 for impeding, and Yannis Woolborn with a +1 for an unsafe release. And John Palaro has been warned, but no penalties that should inflict anything in the championship situation. Poland's will still go into this race from pole position. Lucas Murno will start in row 2 from P3, just behind Pascal Polands on the same side of the circuit. So I just had word from race control that we are jumping into the race session. So the grid has been set by race control. There is the jump. And assuming my stats are... Oh, let's first go through the starting grid. Pascal Poland starts from pole ahead of Philip Puschke, Lucas Murno, and Axel Flam. So both the championship rivals on that screen here. Gabriel Peckley in P5 ahead of Daniel Benton Reader. Pessi Mikkonen trying to make it another good result for Holland Racing Team in 7th ahead of Gabriel Joubert with a strong qualifying. Yannis Woolborn with that one place grid penalty down to 9th. Misha Smith from P10. And then it is Diogo Meneghetti, Tina Curtis, also with a +3 penalty for United Racing Club, Maximilian Jäger P13, Gino Gugiano P14, and then it is Victor B, Matheus Machado, Gustavo Frigoto, Daniela, John Palaro, Harley Self, and then from P21 to P23, we see Paulo Olami, Dominic Rustemeyer, and Thiago Mello. And now, for one final time, lights are on, revs go up, and we go racing at Interlagos, and looks like it's a good getaway from Pascal Poland from pole position. Lucas Murno seems to have made his way past, or at least alongside Philip Puschke. He will have the inside line for the second part of the Senna as Murno is up to P2, and it looks like they all made it through the turns 1, 2, 3 safely. No collisions. Lucas Murno is already on the attack alongside Pascal Polands. They go in the background. There is a big fight for position. Yannis Woolborn is involved, and someone, I think, has lost his front wing, have they? Or is it just it's just the livery of the Velocita that looks like it is missing a front wing all the time. Bit of an illusion there. Apologies for getting that wrong as they try to go 3 into 1 there into that corner, and that usually goes wrong. There is a bit of contact between all of them, but they all point still in the right direction as it is very close between Meneghetti and Joubert there. Tina Curtis trying to take advantage of that situation towards Junsao. They go some wild racing here on the opening lap in the midfield, and it looks like Meneghetti stays ahead. And Gino Gugiano sees his opportunity. Big fight here between Pessi Mikkonen and Daniel Benton Reader. Oh, they are squeezing each other very much there towards the inside of the circuit. Mikkonen into the Senna as makes his way past Benton Reader. And now there is a bit of an opportunity maybe to speak about the conditions. At the moment, we see everybody out there on wet tyres. The track is damp a bit, but no new rain falling at the present moment. They are trying to go 3 wide there towards the Cida del Lago. Gustavo Frigoto right in the middle of John Polaro and Jogo Meneghetti. There is hardly any time to breathe in these opening laps of this race. Meneghetti goes past Frigoto. A lot of jostling for the position further up the order as well. And that just proves Interlagos just such a great track for racing. As cars trying to make moves on each other pretty much everywhere. These are the guys at the top. Lucas Murno still close to Pascal Polens. Philip Pushka is now close to the rear wing of that Cesario. But we know that the SCMM is struggling always a bit in a straight line. But there Pushka goes just after setting the fastest lap. He's going to attack Lucas Murno. Murno is not fighting this one too hard as he knows what's at stake here. Remember, of course, I said this multiple times, but if you only switched in or tuned in now for the race start, all Murno needs to do is finish P5 to win the championship here today. So, we just got word that Harley Self has received a 5-second time penalty for causing collision. Yannis Bulborn has been warned. Harley Self will have the opportunity to serve these 5 seconds at his first pit stop. And we presume he will do so. So, things have calmed down a bit, for the moment at least. And there is Yannis Bulborn just ahead of his future teammate for next season, Misha Smith, and the car that he will be driving next season. But for now, he is trying to get Vachita Virtuali up to P6 in the Constructors' Championship. He's got points ever since joining the team after the Azerbaijan race. For the best finish as he runs wide through the Senna S, goes through the escape road there. And Gino Gaggiano has just received a 5-second penalty for causing a collision with Meneghetti, if I got that correctly. So, lots to do for race control as we see Daniel Benton-Reader trying to find a way past Pessi Mikkonen. We saw them fighting early on. In the background, Wilborn had to let Misha Smith go after cutting through the Senna S. Also, greetings to Paul Müller, who's back in the chat, the former team owner of Infernal Voids and Velocita Virtuali. Glad to see you back, Paul. Thank you for everything in WMSC and your involvement in the series. You'll sorely be missed next season. Yeah, nice to see your teams doing well now in these late stages of the season. Pessi Mikkonen has been warned for dangerous driving. I presume this is in his battle with Benton-Reader as we see the first cars into the pit lane, Maximilian Jäger and Tina Curtis. And might they be actually trying to go for dry tires? Because, as I said, no new rain falling. There's Machado in the pits as well. We see wet tires still on Tina's car. It displays Jäger on the hard. Of course, we know it always takes a bit of time to update in the game. So let's wait and see. So Harley Self definitely is on the hard tire by the looks of it. And on my timing screen, I see that also Tina Curtis and Matheus Machado, they have gone for the mediums. So I assume we will see that updated on the timing tower as well in a couple of seconds. So we will have a look at their lap times and see what they are able to do. Pessi Mikkonen has caught up. No, actually, Pessi Mikkonen has lost position. Smith is ahead of him now, and so is Benton-Reader. And now Pessi Mikkonen will lose out at this round of pit stops because he will have to wait for his teammate, and I presume they're all going for the dry tires now. I see personal bests for Jaeger and Curtis in the middle sector. So this might be the right call to do now. And Benton Reader just comes out ahead of Smith there. Jesse Mikkonen had to wait. Oh, and there's a spin at the pit exit. Gabriel Joubert, and this is a very, very treacherous situation with so many cars trying to make their way out of the pit lane. Oh, and he had to wait for all of them to make their way through. Now, when do the top drivers react? Tina Curtis, purple first sector. I can tell you, 19.4. This is half a second quicker in the first sector only, compared to these guys. And the top three make their way into the pits now. They have been running very close together. And this is now all down to the pit crews. Now, remember, of course, in WMSC, you can upgrade your pit crew as well to make them faster. And this is where this might pay off, as a bit of a messy approach there towards their pit crews. Murner is at the front, and Peckley, oh, this is critical because Peckley now parks in the way of Pascal Poland, and I'm sure Race Control will have a look at this situation. Murno, at the first flurry of activity in the pits, finds his way at the top. He jumps Pushkin in the pits, and he jumps Poland's, but Poland's got held up by Peckley, who was waiting for their pit stop. And Murno's crew to get finished. Daniel Benton Reader, with that earlier pit stop, moves up to P3 and is now under pressure from Pascal Poland. This has gone all wrong for the challenger in the title fight, and it has gone so right for Lucas Murno. But I'm sure Kevin Peters will directly address this to Race Control on what will be done about Gabriel Peckley. And this is a very, very unfortunate situation, of course, for Pascal Poland. As we see Murno now under pressure from Philip Pushka. And towards the pit straight they go. And it's a good run for Philip Pushka, who has quite the new engine in this car. And look at that! I said, as Pushka's very late on the brakes, and there is contact between the two of them. Now, what are Race Control going to do about this? So Peckley, Poland's now under investigation from Race Control. I just had confirmation. Philip Pushka has taken the race lead away from Lucas Murno, but not without contact. Now, what will Race Control say about that? Was Lucas Murno all the way down towards the inside there? Should he have given more room to Lucas Murno, or should have Lucas Murno given more room to Philip Pushka, given more room to Lucas Murno? Poland's, in the meantime, still stuck behind Benton Reader, who slides his car into the right-hander there. And what a breathless first 8 laps of the race this has been. We were promised an eventful race here at Interlagos and an eventful season finale, and so far, it hasn't let us down. Pascal Poland's now attacks Daniel Benton Reader as Lucas Murno is shown as DNF. What has happened to Lucas Murno? Oh, dramatic turn now in the championship fight. Lucas Murno with a disconnect, I assume. He's shown in the pits, he's DNF'd. And this has swung the door wide open for Pascal Poland's. Murno's game has crashed. Danilo Vaz writes in the chat. Oh, and this would be a decision in the championship that we don't like to see. We would like to see it decided on track without any controversy. Well, we had a bit of controversy already with Peckley holding up Poland in the pits. Still under investigation, this situation. Murno will be trying to boot up his game again and try to rejoin as there is a car off the road. This is Paulo Malami is already 4 laps down. Tina Curtis with that early pit stop. I'm sorry, I completely missed that with all of the action that we saw at the front. Tina Curtis with that early pit stop up to P4. And there is a big battle now involving Daniel Benton Reader. Yannis Walborn is involved in there. Peckley as well. Benton Reader stays in position. Now Peckley trying to make a move on Yannis Walborn. Down the Reto Posta they go. Can Peckley try anything into the Ciudad del Lago? Walborn forces him the long way round. And Walborn stays in P6 for the moment, but they are still nip and tuck there. This is not going to work around the outside of Ferradura. And Murno is still not back in the game. And at the moment, this means all Pascal Polens has to do is finish on the podium. P3 for Pascal Polens, if Murno doesn't score a point, would be enough for the championship. And Philip Puschke at the front is flying. Oh, he had a couple of disappointing results lately, and always there or thereabout, but never managing to pull off the race win. And that would be a nice sender for him to end this season. Pessi Mikkonen down the inside. He goes of Dominic Ristermeier, as he will try to fight his way back into the points after being held up by his own teammate on his pit stop. And something must have happened on that in lap, because Mikkonen was the lead HRT as Smith was fighting with Walborn, but somehow he ended up behind him. And Murno is losing lap after lap. We still don't see him back on the server. And this is dramatic for the championship. Well, now it shows he's in the pits, and he might leave them right now. But this will be hell of a recovery. Now he's missing a front and rear wing. Oh dear. So when his game crashed, has Murno crashed as well? Lost front and rear wing. Now he's making his way out of the pits, and he will immediately need to come in again to change to dry tires, which is the option to be on right now, and to change front and rear wings. Well, 4 laps down on the race leader. He is Gabriel Peckley. Wide at the Ciudad del Lago. Oh, and there's Murno in the background. Was he trying to avoid his teammate? And once again, this is a home race to forget for Lucas Murno. Last year, he did not finish that race. And Peckley's car looks awfully slidey. What is happening at Cesario today? Incredible. At the meantime, John Palaro. Oh. Victor B just received a 5-second penalty for causing a collision, as his teammate John Palaro cleanly sends one up the inside of Maximilian Jäger into the Sennas. That would be another good result for Infernal Void. They're currently sitting in 10th in the Teams Championship. The next team ahead of them is Better Julia with 19 points. But with Benton Reader running an incredible P3, it would be his first podium in his long WMSC career. He was there right from the first race in 2023. He had the opportunity for a podium at Canada last year, when we had two very, very dramatic restarts. And he might have even had a chance for a win there, as he was on dry tires on a drying track right at the restart, but then lost it at that restart. As Axel Flam moves past Janis Wilborn. He's up to P5. Murno has crawled his way back into the pits and is getting things fixed right now. And he will be absolutely devastated. By his game crashing. And of course, by that mistake he made very late at Suzuka, where he was running P2 and then threw it into the wall at the Dagna curves and only finished P4 in the end after having to fix his front wing. And now just to make things worse for Lucas Murno, well, he's back out. Oh, okay, he has his rear wing. That was just a graphical glitch that we saw. And just to make things worse a bit, Lucas Murno, had he not crashed late in Suzuka, he would still be on for the championship right now, because P2 for Poland would not be enough. If he had achieved P2, he would still win the championship by 2 points then. But with the situation being as it is right now, well, the points difference is just 10 points, as I'm asked in the chat. Ben's 3000. 10 points between Lucas Murno and Pascal Polens at the moment for P2. Pascal Polens is scoring 12 points, which would elevate him into P1 by 2 points. So as it stands, Live Championship, Pascal Polens wins the championship with 170 points. Lucas Murno second, 168. No, I'm sorry for causing the confusion. The other scenario of Poland's must win was if Murno hadn't made that mistake in Suzuka. The situation right now, P2 is good enough for Pascal Polens as long as Lucas Murno doesn't finish 8th or higher. If Poland wins today, Lucas Murno needs P5 or higher to secure the championship. If Poland finishes second, Murno needs P8 or higher to win the championship. If Poland finishes third, Murno just needs to score 1 point, which is P10 or higher, to win the championship. But at the moment, Pascal Polens will be the 2025 WMSC champion. So in all of that chaos and drama involving Lucas Murno and the championship fight, Harley Self has retired. I'm sorry for missing that. As we still see... Oh! We have a full course yellow. I don't know what this is for, but we have a full course yellow, so I assume somewhere there is a car that has stopped, and it is Paolo Villami. So in the final race in 2025, it is a double DNF for Magnum. And yes, indeed, as things stand, Poland is pulling off a Kimi Räikkönen in the last 2 rounds. When the championship looked a lost cause, he comes back to unlikely win it. So a lot of cars using this full course yellow to come into the pits for, well, not a free pit stop, but a very, very cheap pit stop. Lucas Murno, well, he just drove through the pit lane. This is interesting. And what is also interesting is that rain has started to fall again. At the moment, it is just a light drizzle. But we see some water coming down from the clouds there. At the moment, the track still looks quite dry, but with cars going at reduced speeds right now, that can change at any moment, especially should the rain increase. So, this is our so far dominant race leader, Philip Puschke. Since Suzuka, he's completely out of the championship fight. And, oh, the full course yellow is upgraded to a full safety car, which means the field will be bunched up together. Lapped cars will be allowed to unlap themselves in that case as well. Which is, well, good news for Lucas Murno, I guess, but he will need 5 other safety cars after that. As we see Jannis Wolborn in the pits. Now, what is he deciding to do? I see Misha Smith out on the wets again, as well as Gustavo Frigoto, Gabriel Joubert, and yeah, that's everybody. Let's see what Jannis has done. Beckley into the pits as well. So, they're gambling on the rain increasing and the track getting wetter, I guess. And we saw what that early pit stop and that early correct tyre choice did with Tina Curtis. She's up to 5th now. With that early stop to the slicks. But so far, it is only Smith, Frigoto and Joubert on the wets. Maximilian Jäger now has also changed onto the wets according to my timing screen. Now more people are doing just that. And that will be a very, very interesting restart then. The top 5, they all stayed out, but they are coming towards the pit lane right now. No change in rain intensity so far. There's Lucas Murno. Now what is he trying to do? On what looks like another heartbreak championship decider for a Brazilian at Brazil. It looks like it's 2008 all over again. Philip Puschke into the pits, he goes. Let's see what he is choosing as the next tie-in. Still shows the hard. Poland's on the wet. Poland's on the wet according to my timing screen. And this is interesting. Usually, Vanguard is very, very good at judging these things. And now we have that safety car. Puschke can pick up the pace. During a full course yellow, they all have to run in with the pit limiter. But he will now have to collect all the cars, and then we will see the unlapping procedure. So, yeah, bear with us here, as this may take some time. As we're still monitoring the tire situation, I will wait for at least Maximilian Jäger to make it past the pit lane, because then we will have the full picture. As I still have a bit of conflicting information on the 2 screens I have on offer here. Yeah, so let's just wait a second. We will have some time to identify the tire situation. So, we see a replay of what happened to Wilami. Now, this is the cause of the safety car into the center as all on his own. He spins it. There comes Lucas Murno, and ooh, I thought he might have taken out Lucas Murno there another time, but it's just him into the wall there. Probably just slipping on a damp track, and let's have a look at that tire situation, because that looks much more like what I see on my timing screen here. So, Filip Puške is on the hards. Pascal Polens has taken the gamble to go on to the wets. Now, this all depends on how the weather develops at the moment. Still, it's only a drizzle, according to the data that I have. Track wetness at 0 to 15%. And yeah, I'm sorry, that was not my brain freezing, but there is just a race control just coming through with a lot of information for the drivers on how to behave right now. They're now all closing up to Filip Puške, and then race control will announce the cars in order to unlap themselves and to then make it back to the back of the queue. So in the top 5, only Pascal Polens has decided to go onto the wet tire, and that feels like a bit of a gamble in the situation that he's currently in. Because Murno can still win the championship if Polens finishes outside of the podium. So Murno is the first car that can unlap himself. Will be 5 laps down, if I'm not mistaken, after he does that. He still is nowhere to be seen. Oh, and according to race control, Murno is the only left car, and the only car that is not running in order. So yeah, that is actually right. Paulo Wilami was the only other car that was a lap down, and, well, he's now out of the race. But this will be a very, very treacherous restart. We don't know what the situation will be like on the track. Ever since that drizzle started, or properly started, we haven't seen some green flag running. Thiago Mello is in the pits. He's currently on the hards. Now, does he change onto a wet tire as well? Well, there is Lucas Murno on his recovery drive, or what he will hope to be a recovery drive. And this is really, really unfortunate for him, and he comes into the pits. Now, this is interesting. He's the only car that was able to run on full pace. I'm trying to catch the back of the safety car queue, and he is making his way into the pits. He's currently on the hards. Now, how does he judge the situation on track? And this looks like wet tires. It is. Lucas Murno from hards to wets. Well, Curtis has just been asked to swap positions with Jaeger, and that has happened now. Oh, Benton Reed has just overtaken Polens in the timing screen, but not on track. Okay. Seems to have been a glitch. This is really interesting. Lucas Murno was running quite quickly now around this track, and he deems the track to be better with the wet tire. Now this is very interesting. So has Pascal Polens pulled an absolute blinder? There are more cars peeling into the pits, more cars that might make the switch to another tire compound. Gabriel Peckley is in. John Palaro is in. At the moment, they were both on hards. And they are both on wets now as well. Track wetness, according to my data screen, has gone up. And Lucas Murno in again. Is he just trying things out? So another fresh set of wets. Well, we know that they degrade quite quickly, so this might have been just a decision to be on the freshest rubber possible. But now we have the majority of cars on wet tires, but not our race leader Philip Pushkin. So, safety car in this lap, just confirmed by race control. And then we're going to see one very, very interesting restart. So, Pushki can control the pace now. It's his responsibility to time that restart. Now, when will he put the power down? And how will he manage the track conditions? There is a bit of spray there as they go over the crest there. It looks like he's leaving it very, very late. The field is bunched up and Philip Pushki immediately pulls into the pit lane. And so does pretty much everybody else. So Pascal Polens, or everybody else that is on a dry tire. So only the runners on the full wets, only them are staying out. Tina Curtis fighting for P3 with Maximilian Jaeger. Incredible, and again, judged to perfection by the Vanguard engineering crew. It is now a 1-2 bit of contact there between Jaeger and Curtis, but Curtis up to P3. Kevin Peters with some incredible calls there. It's his teams running 1-2-3. Rain intensity has increased, so definitely this is a wet tire race again. Jaeger has just been warned for moving on the brake, and we saw that situation in the fight with Tina Curtis. Gustavo Frigoto running in P8 at the moment. That would be good enough to overcome Magnum Motorsports in the Teams Championship. So, some movement still in that championship. And his Wolbot down to P14. He also had a chance to try to take the fight to Lucky Hamish for P6. Well, right now he's outside the points, but a lot of things can still happen this race. Now, Frigoto under pressure from Peckley. Peckley down the inside he goes there, just past the pit entry and up to P8. Ooh, Peckley late on the brakes, getting very close to the rear wing of Denny Weller. There is Lucas Murno. He's still not fighting any car on track. He's 5 laps down on everyone. As he just finds his way past Victor B. But that is a lot of unlapping that he will have to do. But I mean, very, very crazy things have happened in these conditions at Interlagos before, as down the inside of Thiago Mello he goes now. Well, Mello holds on to that because no one has to let him through. It's rather the other way around. Murno has to be very careful with this. because technically he has to let them unlap themselves. Blue flags are showing for him. And you can really see the frustration as he's fighting the rear of that car going out of Jinsao. And now finally, on the pit straight, he finds his way past the Bravo Snow Shuttle. Some battle there in the foreground. 5-second penalty for Pessi Mikkonen, causing a collision. This race not going to plan for him. And again, Murno fighting the car. Ooh, side by side into the Interlagos. I guess that was Machado and Jubit. No, it was Meneghetti and Jaeger, sorry. They are fighting for P4. Incredible! Maximilian Jaeger and Diogo Meneghetti being as far up the order as they've never been. At least down to my knowledge in WMSC history. And now is it round 2, as out of Jinsao they go. Meneghetti with a big moment. Now he might be vulnerable to Gabriel Peckley, who's just behind him, trying to at least give Cesari some sort of a good result. As into the center as they go side by side. Peckley on the outside, that will turn the inside now. Oh, Meneghetti squeezing him there. Side by side they go down the hill and Peckley makes that move stick. Now can Meneghetti come back at him? No, he can't. So P5 for Gabriel Peckley. This is the position that Lucas Murno would need to be in to win the championship. Murno right now 21st due to a disconnect. And Peckley, oh, Peckley even finds his way around Maximilian Jaeger. So in just a handful of corners, Peckley moved up 2 positions. Bolaro just received a 5-second penalty for causing a collision. I think at the back of this queue there, this is Lucas Murno still desperately trying to unlap himself. More battles in the midfield. Here's Machado trying to find a way past John Polaro. Polaro who just received a 5-second penalty. And he in turn is trying to fight Danny Weller. I think he's going for a move around the outside. Can he make that one work? Oh, he's substantially alongside. Has the battle line for that next part of the corner. And I think he just edges ahead. And there goes Machado, who tries to take 2 positions here. Oh, but now he gets a bit boxed in and has to cede. But with the up and under, he still finds a way past Danny Weller. So Weller doing an opposite Peckley there, losing 2 positions in just a handful of corners. And oh dear, Philip Pushkin. This has been, well, an afternoon to forget now. He was dominating this race in the dry, but now he has to fight his way back into the point-scoring positions. Past Gabriel Joubert, he goes now in the infield. And Fred Goto defending hard into Jinsao, but he just leaves 1 car's width, and Philip Pushkin just takes that. And Afrigoto is vulnerable to Joubert. And again, just 1 car's width. That is enough for Gabriel Joubert, who moves up to P12. And Frigoto, who was running as high as P8 until a couple of laps ago, now out of the points, but he's still fighting back with Joubert. There is contact between the 2. Joubert emerges ahead, and I think this is another situation that Race Control will take a look at. And forgotten under pressure from Benton Reader, who was ahead of that safety car, running in a podium position. So this is how quickly things can change this afternoon, and we're not even at the halfway point of this race. So back to the fight between Jäger and Menegretti. I think Murno has cleared them now. And for Potenza, this can be a big race, as they're still, hypothetically, in that fight for P6, equal in points with Velocita and Beta Julia. That means that this battle on track, is directly a battle for team's championship position. Jäger for Beta Julia in P5 would overtake Potenza Esports, but as soon as Diego Menegretti finds a way past, that will just be the other way around. And then, of course, don't forget Matheus Machado. Currently, Potenza has both of their cars in the points. So there is a United Racing Club car running wide. That is Dominic Rustomeyer, and there is Polaro through, and there is Pushka trying to take advantage of that situation as well. Does the up and under. There is a bit of contact. Rustomeyer wide again, and that is Machado through as well. Now, I imagine Race Control will also have a look at this. Very, very busy day for them. Might have been a bit naughty there from Philip Pushka, trying to, make room where there originally wasn't any room. But you can understand the frustration for Philip Pushka by getting that strategy call wrong, trying to stay out on the slicks throughout the safety car, and then at the restart having to switch onto the wets immediately. At least he's back in the points now, and he is alongside John Polaro going into the Senna S, who is later on the brakes. Philip Pushka round the outside and makes that move stick. And John Polaro isn't fighting that one too much because he knows that is not his fight to pick. And he won't be able to hold up that SCMF any longer anyway. For Infernal Voids, it is important to score any point that they can. So after 30 laps, finally things have started to calm down a little bit, as this is now the fight for P9 that we're watching on board with Daniel Benton Reader. Matheus Machado is trying to defend the inside, but what a move from Daniel Benton Reader. Can he stay on track? No! Well, only just. Bit of a moment there for Machado, who also almost spins. So that is move done for Benton Reader, and another move done for Philip Pushka almost at the same time. Just 2 corners up the road, up to P6. Well, the only thing in favour of Philip Pushka right now is that his wet tyres are a bit newer than the ones from Pascal Polens. And he's making good progress through the field, but he's 17 seconds behind the race leader. And remember, ahead of the safety car, he was 6 seconds clear of Pascal Polens. As round the outside, and there is contact yet again with Maximilian Jäger this time. Yeah, Pushka really pushing it hard right now. And he makes that move stick. But, yeah. He's a man on a mission. I think there's a bit of red mist that he's seeing right now as well. But Jäger Pushka, no further action, already been called by race control. And Jäger already is very busy there, defending from Diogo Meneghetti. Towards the Ciudad del Lago we go. Jäger defends the insides, holds off Meneghetti. Can he try the up and under? Well, he's got a wheel alongside, but Jäger just stays ahead. And now Gianpalaro, another thing is opening up for him. He's been silently taking advantage of multi-car battles. And there's Daniel Benton Reader as well. It's a little bit squirmy there on the throttle, on the braking. Conditions still tricky as the rain intensity has decreased to 5% again. Bit of a moment there through South for Gianpalaro. He will get a bit of slipstream from the cars ahead, but Benton Reader is really close. Oh, he's almost trying to force his way down the inside, and I think he was a bit too impatient there, because now Palaro has a bit of a gap, and Meneghetti goes alongside Jäger into the Senna S. Side by side they go down the hill. Who will emerge on top? Meneghetti round the outside finds the grip to move up to P6. Can Jäger do anything into the Ciudad del Lago? No, he stays behind. So Meneghetti gains another position. And in the background, Benton Reader alongside Palaro again, but through Ferradura, you don't see many moves there, but Benton Reader pulls it off. Does he? That one will become the inside again, and he slides it past, loses a bit of momentum there. There is wheel-to-wheel contact. Jäger DNF. Jäger has disconnected. We just saw that. He just disappeared. Oh, and this is terrible news for Better Julia in the fight in the team's championship for P6, 7 or 8, because that is one of their point scoring cars out. And Meneghetti also was caught up in something there, as he's now down to P9. So both cars have somehow disappeared. Jäger into the pits and Meneghetti, well, oh, we see him in the background there, just coming around the corner now. There's some very dodgy situation happening there. Connection issues, maybe Meneghetti getting irritated there by that disconnect from Jäger, or game crash. We saw that happen to Myrna earlier this race. And this is very messy there. Misha Smith versus Meneghetti. Misha Smith had late coming together with, or he was taken out by Matheus Machado late in the race at Suzuka, and all sorts of battling in the background there with multiple cars going off track. This is a 5-car battle for P12, and Yannis Wilbon somehow emerges on top as he's 11th now. While Jubert, Mikkonen, B all involved in there. No, sorry, Frigato, not B. So they're still going side by side. They have been going side by side for the entire lap. And I think there was a bit of contact between Mikkonen and Frigato. Mikkonen immediately goes off the power to let Frigato retake the position. That was very fair racing. I would love to see the situation between Smith and Meneghetti again, if that was a late defensive move, moving on the braking by Diogo Meneghetti. I think this is a later... Oh, no, this is the situation with Jäger and Meneghetti, where they both lost a lot of time. Oh, and I think this is the disconnect for Maximilian Jäger, who disconnects but was running into the back of Meneghetti, who therefore lost multiple positions, and this is how he and Misha Smith found themselves together on track. Okay. So that is that situation clarified. Very unfortunate for Meneghetti there. There was nothing he could do about this, as in the background, Victor B with a massive moment out of the Ciudad del Lago. And this is Meneghetti and Misha Smith, the contact. Smith going for the move. Yeah. Meneghetti. And this has just been called a racing incident by race control. Well, Meneghetti moving a bit in reaction to Misha Smith there, but it also looked like a bit like a half-hearted move from Misha Smith, not properly going for it. And yeah, race control then called this a racing incident. And this is very interesting because Tina Curtis has been catching up to Axel Laflamme, and they're under 1 second separated on track right now. Now, Tina Curtis has been filling in for Axel Laflamme, the car just ahead. For Pascal Polens at the race in Belgium. This is her only podium she scored this season. But that was in a Vanguard engineering car, and now it is their B team, United Racing Club, which is putting pressure on Axel Laflamme, who will do his last race in that Vanguard. Next year, Alexander Knezovic will be in that seat alongside Pascal Polens. And Axel Laflamme goes into the pits. Next year, he will be headed towards SCMM, which has also been confirmed this week. And this is very good news for SCMM, who have been struggling to find a second driver after Ruben Meshida's premature departure at the beginning of this season, who was in that second seat. And they might have had chances for the Constructors' Championship. Gabriel Peckley in the pits as well as Jean Palaro. But then it's mostly been Gino Gigiano in that second SCMM, the team owner. But he would prefer to have a second proper driver in that car to focus on those managing duties. Giampolaro will now also serve his 5-second penalty. He does not need to stop and stand for 5 seconds. It is enough to pull out at the end of the pit lane. Just stop for a second or so, and then continue on. You can serve your 5-second penalties in WMSC that way. And that is Palaro back just behind Thiago Mello on track. And they all decided to go for another set of wets. So no one on the dry tires right now. And now it's interesting to see, will the other drivers react? Pascal Polens definitely does react, and so does Tina Curtis. As I think Palaro just made his way past Mello. And now there's more activity in the pits, as I guess now pretty much everybody's coming in, because on a fresh set of wets you have a massive pace advantage. So no one wants to be caught out by any undercuts here by staying out too long. So they all move in reaction, and this will be very, very interesting to see if we have someone moving up the order during that second set of pit stops, but the top 3 remain as they are, and you can see the advantage you have on that 1 lap only. The gap between Polens and Laflamme was around 9 seconds ahead of Laflamme's pit stop. Now it's down to 6.7, and Curtis and Laflamme, the gap was under 1 second. Well, now it's more than 5. In the background, Smith and Peckley battling. Peckley just found his way past Misha Smith. Philip Pushkin is involved in there as well, so Pushkin is still fighting to at least get back on the podium, and I think that is a realistic scenario for him this afternoon, as he breaks past Misha Smith into Jinsao. And now we'll try to catch some slipstream from Tina Curtis. Oh, and Smith actually was on that old set of wet, so this is why Pushka was able to send it that much into Jasal. Because usually you try to get a good exit out of there and then try to make a move on towards the center S on the long pit straight. Ooh, bit of a moment there for Curtis off the road. Pushka has a little snap there as well, but manages to correct it. And I think next lap we might see a proper attack from Pushka. Oh, I'm very sorry. It's not Curtis. It's Gabriel Peckley, of course. Curtis, yeah, you were just able to see her there, and that is a send from Philip Pushka again. He gets the power down. There's a bit of contact, front wing to rear wheel, but Pushka gets away with that. Now he's up to P4, and now he's chasing down Tina Curtis. This is Murno from last place on the road into the pits again. Briefly, he was just 4 laps down. Now this will have gone up to 5 laps again. As soon as he leaves the pit lane, there he is. And as we're slowly running out of laps, I think so is he running out of the last bit of hope, and that is super disappointing for him. Today was completely out of his control. Suzuka, that was a mistake on his side. But as it stands, with Poland's comfortably in the race leads, even without that spin, he wouldn't have made it today. So maybe that mistake in Suzuka might not hurt as bad as it would hurt should Poland's not win this race. Pushka's making massive inroads there on Curtis. This is also the battle that we saw for the final position on the podium at Spa-Francorchamps. Yet another rain-affected race. Curtis just managed to hold Pushka off on the final 2 laps. And this is Danny Vella versus John Palaro. Palaro was solidly running in the points throughout this day, and he's back into the top 10 right now with a move around the outside of Danny Vella. We still have some runners on older wet tires. Gabriel Jubert, for example. And I think Daniel Benton No. Gabriel Jubert and Dominic Rustemeyer, I think. As we see Janis Wolborn. And P11, this has been a bit of an unspectacular race so far from Janis. Being called out, I think, also multiple times by the rain coming at exactly the wrong time for him. Not being on the right tyre. His results, ever since returning to Velocita, 6th, 4th and 8th. So he's always been in the points. And he's just about to get there again. And he's chasing down John Palaro, who just made that move into the top 10. More moving around in the order. Gabriel Jubert now in for another fresh set of wets. And the weather situation at the moment still light drizzle. So I think we don't see much drying of the track at the moment, so you're pretty safe going with the wets. He comes out in absolute no man's land in P17. Back to the battle for the final point scoring positions for now, at least. Laro versus Woolborn. No, actually, is not anymore after Zuber's pit stop. It is a battle for P9. But Pessi Mikkonen, in the background, he might want to get involved in that situation as well. So it is all about this exit out of Jussau, and this doesn't look like a good exit for Jean Palaro, and even as they head on towards the pit straight, the move is already completed by Yannis Woolborn. And Pessi Mikkonen take advantage. Well, Palaro can take advantage now of the slipstream of Yannis Woolborn. Oh! Woolborn stays ahead. Pessi Mikkonen trying to line up a move on towards the Reto Aposta. Oh, he was too close too early there. Under acceleration down towards the straight, but he has the inside line for the Cida do Lago. He's on the wetter line, but still completes that move. And that is Palaro out of the points again, down to P11. But they're all catching up quickly to Dominic Rustermeier, who I think is still on an old set of wets. Yeah, look at that. Woolborn is almost pushing Rustermeier through that middle sector. And now Pessi Mikkonen is looking at 2 for the price of 1. Woolborn going down the inside. Dominic Rustermeier not fighting that one too hard. What does Pessi Mikkonen do? Pessi Mikkonen gets boxed in there by the car placing of Yannis Woolborn. Cheeky defending there from Woolborn. Already having the next car in mind. And that has given him a couple of car lengths over the flying fin in that HRT. And now here we are, battle for P3. Pushke has caught up to Curtis, but so has Curtis to Axel Laflamme. And in the background, there is Lucas Murno. He would love to be in this position on track. He's 5 laps down, and this is the first attack from Philip Pushke against Tina Curtis. He has the outside line for the Senna's. Curtis is late on the brakes, but that outside will turn the inside then. Curtis trying the up and under, tucked in the slipstream of that SCMM. Pushke defending. Well, he has to do so. But Curtis stays behind. And they will now focus to catch up to Axel Laflamme, who is currently sitting in P2. And there is Lucas Murno trying to unlap himself. And that must be so frustrating because he sees he has the pace. Well, of course he has the pace in the Cesario to compete with the top 5. And he has never finished lower than 6th this entire season. And that was also a very, very messy race at Silverstone, where he had the pace to fight at the front. But a couple of moments saw him drop a lot of places, and it was a recovery drive then. Only managed to recover up to P6. And now he's stuck behind Curtis there. Oh, Thiago Mello has just been issued a penalty by the game. He's just been in the pit, so I guess this is for speeding in the pit lane. I had no call from race control. And that usually means track limits or speeding in the pit lane, because these penalties are issued from the game directly. This looked like an awful lot of rain there, but yeah, according to the data, nothing has changed. Still rain at 5%. But Axel Laflamme properly under pressure from Philip Pushke. unusual spot to send it there. But that is Pushka through. Good move. Bold move. And already there are a couple of colleagues, and Lucas Murno gets very, very impatient behind LaFlamme and Curtis. They are in sister teams. Don't trip over each other. Tina Curtis, incredibly, in a fight for a podium, and she might be going for a move, and so is Lucas Murno. 3 wide, they go into the center as Murno sends one up the inside, and he just emerges on top. Well, that is not for position, he's just unlapped himself, but Curtis is up to P3, LaFlamme drops to 4th. Well, and I think at United Racing Club and Vanguards, they will not have liked to see that massive send there from Lucas Murno. Because usually you should be careful when unlapping. Of course, I fully understand the frustration of Lucas Murno, who sees the championship slip away. It required a miracle for Poland to be in this position that he is in right now. But that has just happened with that early disconnect or game crash from Lucas Murno. We have a 5-second penalty issued, well, for Jubet earlier. Don't know if I mentioned that. And we just had one for Frigoto as well, who's currently in the pit, so he might be able to serve it immediately. And Axel LaFlamme is back into the pits. Now, the last pit stop is not that long ago. This is very interesting. As in parts of the track, it looks like a dry line is forming. So is this LaFlamme trying something in his final race for Vanguards? May he be checking out the situation for his teammates? Well, it looks like it's another set of wets. It does look so in the game, and it also does look so on my timing screen. So I guess Murno is just struggling the most. LaFlamme is struggling the most with tire wear. As he comes out just behind Misha Smith, he will have the tire advantage, but well, we know these wets, they just degrade so quickly. So, and Murno has just received a final warning for taking care when he unlaps, because he's not racing them, and yeah, I think that comes up from a protest from Kevin Peters, team boss of Vanguard and United Racing Club, from that situation earlier when Curtis was attacking LaFlamme and Murno was sensing his opportunity to get past these two. It doesn't help him much. He's still 5 laps down from the race leader and championship rival Pascal Polens. Who is currently pulling off what many consider to be unthinkable just 2 weeks ago. But Murno has left the door ajar at Suzuka, and now that disconnect has pushed it fully open, and at the moment it looks like Pascal Polens is just strolling through that door and snatching the championship away from Lucas Murno in his home race. So things have calmed down a little bit. This is the closest fight that we have on track, at least inside the points. Daniel Benton Reader is inside of Gabriel Peckley in the fight for P4. This would be a huge result for Beta Julia. As with P4, if my maths is not incorrect, and no guarantees on that, that might be enough to overtake Lucky Hamish for P6 in the Constructors' Championship. So, Daniel Benton Reader, man on a mission, and he might be close enough to attack Peckley, and LaFlamme is coming flying in the background with that fresh set of webs. He's 3 seconds a lap quicker than anyone, and he's past Benton Reader already. And this is what the difference a fresh set of wets makes, because, yeah, you lose so much just after a couple of laps. But then again, you can't come in every 5 laps for a fresh set, so, yeah, you have to find a good middle ground. And LaFlamme now a bit out of sync with Poland's Pushka, Curtis, Peckley, and I think Benton Reader as well, who came all in around the same time for their second stint of wets post-safety car. But he's struggling a bit to find his way past Peckley into Ferradura. He does so. And now what was the battle for P4 once is now the battle for P5, but Benton Reader is as close as ever to the rear wing of that Cesario. We have a yellow in Sector 1 for quite some time. I guess there was a car on off track somewhere. Oh, Victor B just been in the pits and he's just received a penalty from the game, so another incident of speeding. Benton Reader is close, but just not close enough to do anything into the Senais. And the rain has increased in intensity again. We're up to 15%. But the track wetness staying around the same mark. Pretty much like it has been since the restart. So no massive changes in the conditions for now. Sometimes a bit more rain, sometimes a bit less rain, as Benton Reader is trying to find a gap there against Peckley, who leaves the door a bit open as he misses the apex. Towards Jonsal they go. And now Benton Reader needs a good exit. He struggles a bit on the power, but so does Peckley. He looks a bit closer this time, but this is all about straight line speed. And he is gaining. He's not gaining enough, is he? Or will he send one? He does send one down the inside. Benton Reader goes, and I think that is job done for him, as long as he doesn't run right there, because now Peckley's close again. And this is another straight line speed battle, as Benton Reader immediately darts to the inside, forces Peckley the long way round the Interlagos, but Benton Reader stays in 5th. And now he will try his hardest to get a bit of a gap to Peckley until they are back at the pit straights. John Pallara from P10 now into the pits. And Pascal Polens from the race lead pits as well. And this will be interesting. Is this his last pit stop already? Or will we see another stint of the wets? I think it all depends on what the cars behind do. If someone opts to go for another set of wets to try and take advantage of them being much quicker the first couple of laps. Philipp Puschke and Tina Curtis follow. And I think that will see La Flamme back into P2, but now it is a tire advantage, Puschke and Curtis. So I think La Flamme will pit at least once again. And then it will be interesting what do Puschke and what do Curtis do. I think Poland is now in the very comfortable situation that he just needs to watch what the others do and react to that. And even more comfortable for him now that the car chasing him is A, on older wet tires and will definitely lose out to him, and B, it is his teammate, and Vanguard, they will make sure that there is no attacking from La Flamme towards Poland's. Because what has been Murno's championship to lose now is Poland's championship to lose, and I think they will make absolutely sure to do everything in their control that Pascal Polands will not drop from the race lead, and especially not drop off that podium. Oh, and Gabriel Gibet just received another 5-second penalty for causing a collision. They got one earlier, and that's their second one. Benson Reader momentarily up to P4, but he hasn't pitted for another set of wets. But this is always something in these wet weather races with these kinds of wet tires. We'll only see right at the end how this pans out, because a later pit stop will mean that you have a massive tire offset. You've just seen that with La Flamme on how quickly he was catching up to everybody. Now he has an 11-second gap to Philipp Puschke, but we can be sure, well, as long as these back markers don't get in the way of Philipp Puschke, that gap will melt within the next couple of laps. And wait, is this Puschke and La Flamme are already together? Well, what am I talking about? I'm very sorry. These early stages of this race have completely fried my brain, I think. Philipp Puschke already up to P2, and he will now try to put the pressure on Pascal Polands. Rustermeyer under tag from Jean Palaro. Palaro also on a fresh set of wets, but oh, look at that. Rustermeyer has the straight line speed. Jean Palaro should have the grip though. Ooh, as still side by side they go into Ferradura. Can Palaro make this work around the outside? He goes, and back into the top 10 they are. But again, in the lower point scoring positions, I'm sure a lot of things will change from now to the end, because of these strategies all playing out very differently. But what we can say is that Pascal Polands is looking set to win this race right now. Philipp Puschke probably the favorite for P2, but then I think it will be very interesting for P3. Is it Axel Flamme or is it Tina Curtis? This way will be one thing that might just be decided in the final laps of this race. Now, here is Tina Curtis. She's currently trailing La Flamme by 5-ish seconds. And once again, incredible race by her. Incredible strategy calls. She was the first one that came in for dry tires, and that put her in this position, and she never dropped back from there really. But now, again, this is Lucas Murno behind her, trying to find a way by, and this is very uncomfortable, I believe, for Tina Curtis, and also for Lucas Murno, who undoubtedly is able to go quicker, but then again, he is 4 laps down still. And you can really see the tire set of work here right now. Tina Curtis, just a couple of laps later than Axel Flam in the pits, she gained 3 seconds on that last lap. And I think by the end of next lap, we will see an attack from Tina towards Axel. There has been just a call from race control, no further investigation between Misha Smith and Gabriel Peckley, so there must have been a coming together. They are now separated by like 2 seconds, and Daniel Denton Reader, who is putting pressure on that HRT. The resurgent HRT team, who's been regularly in the fight for podiums after not scoring at the opening round and struggling very, very early on this season. The Constructors Champions of 2023 and 2024. And the former team and future team of Yannis Warborn. So next year, I'm pretty sure we will see them right at the front, fighting constantly for race wins with Yannis Warborn. Everything else would be a surprise to me. So potentially, looking at next season, we have 4 cars, 4 teams regularly fighting for wins. Of course, there will be Vanguard Engineering, Pascal Polens, who, as it stands right now, will be the reigning champion. Philip Puschke with FCMM, Axel Flam with FCMM potentially. Maybe Knazovic in the Vanguard, and then of course Yannis Warborn in the HRT, Misha Smith in the HRT, and of course Scuderia Cesario with they will be trying to fight for race wins and championships yet again, as it looks like they will be second in both championships. So Laflamme versus Curtis, I predicted we will see that battle. And here we are now, and again, it is Lucas Murner that finds himself behind these two. After making that massive dive bomb against them, and now, yeah, it hasn't helped him at all. Too late with his stop for fresh wets, and that has put him behind them again. It's just overall, for Lucas Murner, a race to forget. And Laflamme goes into the pits for another set of wet tires, and this will be the fight for the podium then. Axel Laflamme goes for another set of wets. Tina Curtis, well, will she go to the end of this race, or will she react to that move again and try to reel Laflamme in? Well, either way, the fight for P3 will be decided on track, and I think that is an awesome prospect in those final laps of the race. Lucas Murner managed to unlap himself from Curtis this lap again. But yeah, as I said, it won't help him. Danny Weller has retired. Murner up to P17 then. This has been just such an unfortunate afternoon. And he will be super disappointed after this race. Unless, of course, anything unforeseeable happens in these last 10 laps. And considering what happened in like the first 30 laps of this race, nothing is over until the checkered flag is out. So let's enjoy these last 10 laps of racing in WMSC for 2025. As this is an entertaining battle that we've seen throughout the second half of this race. Benton Reader versus Misha Smith. This is for P4 at the moment. But in the background, we will already see the flying vanguard of Axel Laflamme, who is already just behind Gabriel Peckley. there we have that battle. But now Laflamme needs to get creative. Well, that almost looked like Peckley was waving him through. I'm not sure if this was on purpose or not, but it was very, very, very lenient by Gabriel. Peckley, Laflamme almost drops it on the braking. Or was that planned? Styling, sliding it around that right-hander there. And in the foreground, we were just able to see Smith and Benton Reader go past. I think, again, it will just be one lap until Laflamme is right there with them. Well, not if he does that. He had a spin. Axel Laflamme spins it out of Junsao, I think. Oh, that is Peckley through again. Well, now, that is a lot of time to breathe for Smith and Benton Reader. And not only for them, might that have secured another podium for Tina Curtis, which would be a maiden podium for United Racing Club. Pushka slowly gaining on Pascal Polens, but yeah, not enough for Pushka to try anything to get back into the race lead. I think that race win was lost for Philip Pushka with the wrong tyre choice during the safety car. Oh, and I just had breaking news from Magnum Motorsports as they signed Paolo Villami and Gabriel Joubert for 2026. So, yeah, some breaking news during the race as we see Daniel Benton Reed move past Misha Smith for the moment. So he finally made that one work, but Misha Smith will have an opportunity for a counter-attack down the Reto Posta. He is close. He's in the slipstream. Pulls out, trying to make Benton Reed a bit nervous. Didn't work. As Pasi Mikkonen just past Jannis Wilborn. Wilborn down to 9th. Would be his worst result since his return in Azerbaijan. As here we see Gabriel Joubert, who has been signed for Magnum while he's still in that Lucky Hamish on track. Well, I guess he's been signed before. It's just been announced right now. But it looks like Benton Reader wasn't able to shake Misha Smith off. The gap's still 0.5 seconds. So Benton Reader, depending on where they are on track, might still be vulnerable. Well, just as I said that, commentator's curse for you there. He made that gap. Oh! We have a full course yellow. We have a full course yellow late in this race, as Gabriel Joubert almost runs into the back of Meneghetti there. And that is an opportunity for a quick pit stop for, well, everyone pretty much to go on a fresh set of wets. Pascal Polens does so. I assume Philip Pushka will do the same. So will Aaron Curtis, Tina Curtis, I'm sorry. Benton Reader, well, could be interesting between Mikkonen and Wilborn because they are very close together on track. And that is down to the pit crews. Well, who is the car then that has caused the full course yellow? And, oh, it has been upgraded to a virtual safety car, which is a proper safety car. And that means we will see another restart, and it is Lucas Murno. Lucas Murno. And that is every hope over for the championship, if there was any left. Well, there is still a bit of hope, maybe. Pascal Polens will have to manage another safety car restart, and Philip Puschke will see his opportunity to get back into the race lead. So here is what happened. This is the Ciuman Lago. Yeah, he loses it on the curb. Into the opposite wall, then he goes. And that is an awful day for Lucas Murno, finding an awful end there in the wall. But as I said, it will be another safety car restart to manage for Pascal Polens, still in treacherous conditions, and with Philip Puschke with nothing to lose behind him. And this is the pit stop battle between Misha Smith and Benton Reader. Benton Reader comes out ahead. Mikkonen stayed ahead of Wilborn. Have they been in the pits already? No, I think they're coming in right now. They're still very close together. But it will be a very, very short sprint at the end of this safety car period. Because, well, we have to wait until they're all together, and then there will be a lot of unlapping. Palaro, Meneghetti, Gibet, Jado, Rustemeyer, Frigoto, Gigiano, they're all a lap down from the race leader, and they will only be able to unlap once the whole field is close together. Currently, Pascal Polens is in lap 65 of 17. As Wilborn jumped Mikkonen in the pits there. Interesting. So, their battle will resume after that presumably last restart of the WMSC season. You see Philip Puschke here. So it is safety car. They've all been asked to get close to Pascal Polens, who can now drive 120 kph. This is the maximum that he can do, and I think he will try to go as quick as he is allowed to drag this out as late as he can. So maybe there won't be another restart. But I think Race Control would like to finish this one under green flag running, and I think this is how we all would see this last race decided on the greens and on track. So these are the last two cars on the lead lap, Wilborn and Mikkonen. Rain is still at 5%. So just got a call from Race Control. There are no more time penalties. So I assume everybody has served their time penalties that they had. Which is, of course, very, very good for us. Because that means the way they finish this, the order they finish this race in, will actually be the final result. Very good news for us. As we see a massive train of cars there between Puschke and Curtis, despite they being P2 and P3. Well, there are all the lapped cars in there. Well, almost all of them. Murno has not been asked to retire the car yet, as far as I'm aware. And Pascal Polens is now starting lap 67. So, Murno just has been asked to retire the car that second, just after I mentioned it. And it is now 4 laps to go in this race, and then the WMSC Championship 2025. So, and now the names will slowly be called of those drivers that are allowed to unlap themselves. So we start with John Palaro, who has just been asked to unlap. Then it will be Meneghetti, Gibet, Machado, Frigoto, Rustemeyer, and Gagiano. And that would be everybody. As soon as they are past our race leaders, and as soon as, I guess, they are out of the way for the restart, we will see this race go green again, and then it will be probably 2 laps of green flag running. But Pascal Polens is just not through yet. Philip Pushka will know that Polens cannot take any risks at this race restart, because Polens needs P3 to win the championship. If he finishes off the podium, he will not be the champion. And Gagiano looks like he's really pushing Rustemeyer there. These are the last 2 cars on track. And as far as I see, the leaders are just entering the final sector. So I guess we will see one more lap of safety car running, and then indeed it will be 2 laps of green flag racing. Just a call from race control. They won't wait for anybody peeling into the pits now for a race restart. They just entered lap 68. So at the end of this one, I haven't had the official call, but I assume from what I heard from race control now that this is when they will decide to restart this race. Rustemeyer has been asked to pick up the pace. This is interesting. We saw that he was a bit in the way of Gagiano. Yeah. Maybe a good point to mention, United Racing Club is the sister team of Vanguard Engineering. Don't want to get my tinfoil hat out there. But of course, Pascal Polens will hope that this is as late as possible, this restart. And now it has officially been confirmed. Safety car will be in this lap, and then it will be 2 more laps of green flag running. Lucas Murno has retired from his home race, and his impressive run of point-scoring finishes comes to an end. But he still can win this championship if 3 cars pass Pascal Polens on this restart. It is unlikely, but again, it is not over till it's over. Pascal Polens can set the pace from now on. And we have someone behind him, Philip Pushka, who will see his opportunity here to finish this season on a high. He didn't sound too happy on many of these last races where we had him on the podium, but he felt like he could have done more. Or either the pace of the car wasn't just there. We know what he's capable of. And I think he wants to win this one very, very badly. So Pascal Polens has dropped the hammer now. He had a bit of a moment on the throttle, and there goes Filip Puška around the outside into the center as they go. Puška is going for the move. Puška has the inside line. Puška takes the race lead with 2 laps to go. Benton Reader made it past Curtis. Benton Reader chasing his first podium and maybe more. Benton Reader is very, very close to Pascal Polens. Polens doesn't defend this one too much. Benton Reader might take P2. Polens is just where he needs to be to win the championship. Oh dear, with 1.5 laps to go, he can't afford to lose one more position. Curtis is there. He's in this. They are in the sister team. Tina Curtis. She will not do too much about this, and she will try to get in the way of Misha Smith, who is of course sensing an penalty for Rustamite. Warning. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get that because I was shouting in my microphone too much, because that has been a very, very exciting restart. And Poland's incredible. I mean, we are starting the last lap of this race right now, but he cannot afford to lose any more position. This is one of the most incredible title finishes that you might see anywhere. It is not over. Going into this final lap, Murno is out of this race, but the championship is not over yet. Daniel Benton Reader might achieve his first podium finish here in WMSC history. Daniel Benton Reader, not under pressure from Poland's behind. Poland's, I think, will just be trying to bring this one home. In the background, there is a battle. I think that is Laflamme. No, it was Wolbon off the road. Axel Laflamme down to 8th. Mikkonen up to 7th. Incredible scenes. Absolutely incredible scenes. Hey Ash, glad to see you in the chat. You're tuning in right at the perfect moment there to see the championship decided. Half a lap to go. Poland is in position. I don't think there is any pressure from Tina Curtis behind, so I think he might just take that. But I think Kevin Peters and the whole Vanguard engineering crew could have done without that pressure of the late safety car restart. And Filip Puška does indeed finish this season on a high. Filip Puška wins the race at Interlagos. Filip Puška, after dropping so many positions with that first safety car, he somehow made it. He wins, and Daniel Benton Reader comes home second to finish his and Peter Julia's first podium. But in P3, he just does enough. Pascal Polens is the new WMSC 2025 champion with P3. Oh, and what a race it has been. Tina Curtis finishes P4, Misha Smith P5. There is an investigation between Mikkonen and Laflamme. They had a bit of a situation. We saw that in the background. It will be investigated after the race. But dear, oh dear, what a race this has been. And congratulations, Pascal Polens. He has made the impossible possible. An early disconnect for Lucas Murno helped him. But that late safety car, oh dear, he almost lost it there. Just enough. That is just the position that he needed to be in. And he's celebrating already, taking out the former champion, Yannis Wolbon, in the process, now being taken out by Gabriel Peckley. The celebrations are starting early, and rightfully so. What a season it has been for WMSC, and I can't wait to see more of that next year. Here are your provisional race results. Filip Puška wins ahead of Daniel Benton Reader. Pascal Polens P3, just enough to secure the championship for him. The unlikely championship that nobody thought would be possible 2 races ago. Well, Tina Curtis P4, Misha Smith 5th, Gabriel Peckley 6th, Yannis Wolbon 7th. There is an investigation between Wolbon and Laflamme. Menegretti 8th, Polaro 9th, and Gustavo Frigoto somehow snuck into the top 10 there in these final 2 laps. Gino Gugiano 11th, Machado 12th, Rustemeyer 13th, Mikkonen. No further action between Laflamme and Mikkonen. I just got the word from race control. Mikkonen 14th, Zubert 15th, Laflamme 16th. So yeah, he completely dropped out of the points. And then the retirees: Lucas Murno, Weller, B, Mello, and then last page we see Maximilian Jäger, Paolo Villani, And Harley Self. Wow. What a season finale. I hope I didn't promise too much at the beginning of this stream, but it had everything that we could have hoped for. Of course, unfortunate with that disconnect. We would have liked or loved to see this one decided on track. But unfortunately, it was not to be for Lucas Murner. Well, Pushkin, Poland's also had a disconnect earlier in the season, so I guess, yeah, in terms of disconnects, it's 1-1. But yeah, what an incredible drive. I mean, Pascal Poland's deserved champion. It was a great effort by Lucas Murner. They both would have deserved it. But I mean, with 4 race wins out of the last 5 rounds for 5 race wins out of the last 6 rounds for Pascal Poland's, and that non-race win was a P2. Yeah, incredible late push in this season, and we have a new and a very deserved WMSC champion in 2025. He will have lots to do to defend this one. From Murno, from Pushka, and of course, from Yannis Wilborn, who will try to take back the crown in 2026. But this is all something to think about, to worry about early next year when the next season of WMSC will surely start. Testing will be done a lot with the mod during the winter. And then we will see another great season, hopefully next year. But yeah, this has been an absolutely epic one. Actually, and that is the thing, they're equal on points. It is decided, if my maths is correct, it is decided by 1 race win more that Pascal Poland's has. That is 6 race wins to 5 race wins. So 168 points for Pascal Poland's, 168 points for Lucas Murno. It is just that 1 race win more that makes the difference for Pascal Poland's. So we're waiting for the top 3 of this race to be moved to this channel so we can have a talk with them. So we will have the top 3 with us in just a couple of seconds. There's one special thing today with Daniel Bentonreed. I will do the interview in German, but I'll give you the gist of it in English afterwards. Yeah, we're just waiting for them to be moved to the channel. Yeah, that will happen in just a couple of seconds, I suppose. As I'm still trying to catch my breath, because that has been an incredible finish to this season. Incredible final race of the season, of course. And yeah, it yeah makes me look so much forward to next year already, and we'll hopefully see all of that again, with probably even more contenders at the front. As now we have the top 3 with us right now. So Philip Pushka, first let's talk to you. Congratulations for that race win. What a late move there with the restart. But let's start with the first safety car period. You stuck out on the slicks and tried to make that one work. Was it immediately clear to you that this was the wrong choice, even during the safety car?
No, I mean, not immediately. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. But I think obviously it was the wrong call. Could have been the case that the rain would have stopped and I would have picked the right one, I think it's a lottery at that point. Obviously, I chose the wrong one. In the end, didn't matter because I still won. But the pace was great. The car was awesome. I think the yellow added some pace to the car. So all in all, great way to end the season. Congrats, obviously, to Pascal for the championship, and obviously a little bit, yeah, you have to feel for Mono as well because that's very sad in the end, like to lose it like that. But that's the game. I mean, Pascal had it as well this season. So congrats to Pascal, and yeah, that's it.
All right, then, yeah, let's talk a bit about that pit stop you had then after the first safety car. You had to battle a lot through the midfield, and there were a lot of hairy situations where I think you made contact a couple of times with some runners in the midfield. Now, talk us through this. Did you think at this point that it was possible for you to still win this one?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that P2 was well possible because the pace was just very, very fast on all tires, all conditions. So yeah, I mean, the contact was inevitable because the grip was like very, very low. Tires overheating for everyone, low grip overall. So yeah, it's easy to slip a little bit too wide and to touch tires. I think it was nothing dirty I did and nothing the opponents did. So I think it was okay racing in the end, considering the conditions. So yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, probably one of my most enjoyable wins in my career. So yeah, that's good.
So, what are your expectations now for next season? Do you expect to fight for more race wins and maybe finally take the fight to the last race for the title?
Yeah, I mean that's obviously the aim and goal for everyone, but I think we have shown this season that we can be a contender, serious contender till the end if things go a little bit more our way or we pick the right choice at the right time a little bit more. But yeah, I think the season was good. Thanks to Gino for doing every work in the background for the league in general, but also for my team, for our team. So yeah, thanks to that as well. So looking forward to next year and yeah, see us there.
All right, thank you, and congratulations once again for your race win today.
Ja, thanks.
Okay, dann Daniel, zu dir. Erstmal herzlichen Glückwunsch zu deinem allerersten Podium in der WMSC. Wie war das Rennen für dich? Hast du tatsächlich gedacht, dass du heute ums Podium kämpfen kannst?
Also im Training hat sich schon angedeutet, dass das Auto recht schnell sein wird im Regen. Und deswegen haben wir im Team eigentlich mehr darauf gehofft, dass es regnen tut. Und desto schlimmer fand ich es eigentlich, dass, wo es trocken geworden ist, sind aber im richtigen Moment eigentlich auf den Trockenreifen gegangen. Und als es dann wieder zum Regnen angefangen hat, wusste ich ja dann auch, was das Auto dann im Regen kann. Also mit Podium habe ich jetzt nicht gerechnet, aber es freut mich trotzdem umso mehr.
Danke dir. He said that he was he knew that his pace in the rain was good, so he was a bit upset when it stopped raining at the beginning of this race. He didn't think it would be enough for the podium, but yeah, he of course is absolutely thrilled with this result today, and was a good race for him, obviously. Ganz am Ende nach dem Restart hast du direkt die Chance ergriffen, gegen Pascal Platz 2 dir noch zu erkämpfen. Erzähl uns, was dir dabei durch den Kopf gegangen ist, als du in diesem Kampf involviert warst.
Eigentlich, Max hatte zu mir ja die ganze Zeit gesagt, wir müssen einfach bloß den Platz für unsere Team-WM halten. Aber da sich ja dann schnell an Curtis vorbei war und einen besseren Ausgang wie Pascal hatte und dann schon neben ihm war, habe ich gesehen, dass Puschke mir noch Windschatten gibt und dachte, jetzt zieh es einfach durch und probier's. Und wenn nicht, ziehe ich zurück und nimm Platz 3 auch mit.
So Daniel was saying that after the restart, he just saw his opportunity. He got the call from his team boss that he needs this position to bring them up in the teams championship, and that it was very crucial. He got a very good restart, was immediately past Curtis, and then he saw that he had a better exit than Pascal, and he took the slipstream of Pushka, and then ultimately he went for P2, and luckily it stuck for him. Also, danke dir, Daniel. Danke für das Interview und herzlichen Glückwunsch zu deinem ersten Podium und wir sehen uns hoffentlich nächstes Jahr nochmal. Okay, and now, of course, P3, just enough to score the championship. Congratulations, Pascal Polens. What a race it has been. First of all, talk us what was going through your head in these final 2 laps of this race after the restart?
Yeah, not much. It was just surviving. I mean, I was a bit shaky on on the pedals, on the steering wheel, trying to just not do any stupid mistake, and yeah, that was everything in my thoughts, and yeah, I mean, it was taxing quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess that is the case. I mean, yeah, obviously, congratulations. I think we all saw what happened today, and yeah, you had this race under control pretty much. So with that late safety car, it must have been a lot of pressure that you didn't need and that you didn't want to. But I think you managed it very well indeed. Yeah, let's obviously talk about next season. We heard that your former teammate Janis Wilborn will be back at HRT. Do you think you can defend the championship next year with Vanguard and yeah, with all those new challenges coming up?
It hugely depends on how many races I will skip next year. But, but yeah, I mean, if I'm there for the majority or all of them, I think we can definitely bring a fight to him. But yeah, I think it will be maybe as close as it was this year. So yeah, I think that in general the drivers and the teams are getting better and better compared to each other each year. So yeah, I count on everyone next year to bring it up to me.
All right, so these are some very, very encouraging signs for next year already. So I don't want to postpone your celebrations any longer. Again, congratulations for P3 today, and obviously
Yeah,
for
thank you.
winning the championship in 2025. And now that has been it with season 3 of the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship. We will be back next year, of course. Follow us on the socials, Instagram, YouTube. You'll find us under IBOS_sim racing on Instagram. You will get every information you need when the next season starts, the calendar as soon as it is released, of course. And yeah, all that's left for me to say is now thank you to all the team of World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship for having me, for making this possible, for our production team that we have. Also, of course, special thanks to Gino and Misha, Kevin Peters, of course, who was always approachable for us, the commentary team. Of course, Ash, who unfortunately will not be part of the team from next year on. And of course, thank you to anybody that I might have forgot for making this possible, because this today, yeah, is what WMSC is all about. And we have seen a great finale to a great season. And I hope we will see something similar next year. And I'm pretty sure we will see something similar next year again. And yeah, then I wish you all happy holidays already. Have a good one until the end of the year. And I'll see you all in spring next year, I hope. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all there.